Hi everyone, I'm Tina Wakefield, a teacher of deaf children and young people and a member of BATOD. I'm here to talk about BATOD and hopefully to help you see how useful it would be for you to join. I'm sure most of you have heard of BATOD, the British Association of Teachers of Deaf Children and Young People, or you may have been told about it by your lecturers and so are already members. It's not a union like a teaching union, but a professional association for teachers of the deaf covering the whole UK, with a number of members based in the Republic of Ireland and a growing number of international members. I'm a teacher of the deaf who has been a member since I was a student myself when someone came to my course to talk about BATOD. I'm glad I did join then when I needed the support and help of the organisation in my early days working with deaf children and young people. Today, I'll cover what BATOD is, what it does, dip into the website and look at partners, and of course, most importantly, the student reductions. Just a note about all the acronyms. I've tried to explain them as they appear, but the whole list can be found on the link below. They're all explained in the BATOD style guide via this link. On the website, we have an introduction in BSL. Just click the link to see it or go to the website homepage as soon as you finish watching this presentation. We hope to have more BSL input on the website in the future. Here are the three basic aims of BATOD. There is also a formal BATOD constitution available to download from the website, which is regularly updated. The importance of membership of BATOD. BATOD is a strong voice with central and local governments and does help overcome professional isolation, helping you to keep in touch with colleagues nationwide. It's important to know what BATOD actually does. As you can see from the slide, it works for teachers of the deaf, audiologists and teaching assistants, and also communication support workers. It works in national areas, and that's really important in these uncertain times. BATOD also provides lots of specialist information via the Association magazine, the Deafness and Education International Journal, the website and email forums. There are regional and national conferences on a variety of different topics, either virtual or face-to-face. The language modification program is very valuable, as is the accurate, up-to-date information on access arrangements in your discussions with Senkos and schools. It also hosts the Deaf Education Mesh guidelines and the updated PUD. Here's a screenshot of a recent association magazine. It's a good, easy read. It comes out several times a year in paper form through the post, but you can also look at it and past editions on the members area of the website. I tend to keep it on the breakfast table and just have a quick look at it most days. It's full of ideas from qualified teachers of the deaf. You can see that this edition is based around different areas covered in the recent national conference. A different topic is taken in detail every issue. I particularly like the end pages of the magazine, where you can find the regular features such as reviews of resources, upcoming courses, etc. The magazine also often has articles from student teachers of deaf on their courses. More and more members are commenting how useful the regular newsletter is. As you can see, it arrives frequently in your inbox when there's new information to pass on. It's a lively, accessible newsletter which reminds you of what's happening in the world of deaf education if you haven't looked specifically at the website in a while. The other item you get regularly in the post is Deafness and Education International Journal. This is a very well-respected peer-reviewed journal that can be so useful in ensuring that the references in your essays are bang up to date. Very appreciated by your lecturers. You can access the journal electronically via the website after signing in. BATOD is the sole association representing the interests of teaching deaf children in the United Kingdom. There are 8 regional groups and also a group especially for deaf teachers of deaf, which I'm very glad to say has growing numbers. In BATOD, you have the chances to meet with other teachers of deaf, share their experiences, network, and find out what's happening in your local area and go on local courses. For deaf teachers of deaf has become more and more successful as people know about it. If you are a deaf student, please do join via the Facebook link. It was set up as a support network for teachers of deaf who are deaf. The aim is to promote positive outcomes in the education of deaf children and young people through sharing, developing, and disseminating good practice by deaf teachers of the deaf. The great logo we use was designed by James Merry, a deaf graphic designer. The website is the main method that BATOD communicates with its membership. So, how do you get access to the website? Well, it has general access for some information, but for other areas or specific elements, the website is locked and only open to members who log in. So, let's just have a quick look at some of the pages of the website. The home page shows a row of blue tabs to click to navigate around. Importantly, the jobs page. The jobs page is one of the most used advertising modes by employers of teachers of the deaf in the UK. This is just a screen grab of part of the current page, and you can see it has a wide reach. Also, a variety of different jobs. This is one of the latest pages. BATOD also tweets job roles and locations at least once a month. The next heading is events. And it's not just BATOD events, such as the very popular regional conferences, but courses put on by other providers, such as NDCS, for you to think about going to. The next national conference is in April at the Arlington Centre. It's the 50th anniversary conference. Yes, 50 years. BATOD has been going that long. Regional conferences and study days are to be found all over the country. This year, for example, BATOD Southwest and North Region study days are happening. So, going along the top of the webinar homepage tabs, the next thing to click into is resources. If you click into any of these, it leads you into a wealth of information. Two of the most interesting areas you can also access via the main webpage: audiology refreshers and the specialist deaf curriculum framework. Other recently published documents, such as articulating the specialism and early years, are useful for work with schools in early years settings. Audiology refreshers are extremely useful and up to date, covering all these areas. Recent, really useful updated audiology information on the anatomy and physiology of the ear, etiology and types of deafness, auditory perception and hearing testing, acoustics and physics of sound, listening skills and functional hearing, and hearing technologies. And the specialist deaf curriculum has proved very popular. This curriculum framework is a UK-wide resource for specialists in deafness, such as QTODs and educational audiologists, but also can be used by families and children. Excellent personal understanding of deafness has now been updated, and strands involved include independent management of audiological equipment, knowledge of personal deafness, deaf and hearing awareness communication, confidence and understanding to ensure effective communication, understand and resolve communication, and their difficulties. And also transition, that's really important. A relatively new scheme for BATOD is the mentoring scheme, where you are put in contact with an experienced trained BATOD member for help and support. The scheme is now rolling forward with a healthy number of mentors and students. BATOD has many partners, information from whom you will soon find useful in your studies. CRIDE, for example, CRIDE is an independent consortium bringing together a range of organisations and individuals with a common interest in using research to improve the educational outcomes achieved by deaf children. The National Deaf Children's Society, which I'm sure you've heard of, is the leading UK charity for deaf children, and they've got loads of useful resources for teachers of deaf. And they have regular meetings with BATOD and are involved in many joint projects. Another couple of partners of BATOD are NATSIT, the National Sensory Impairment Partnership, which brings together a community of practice which represents the national specialist SI organisations, the DFE and training providers, and, of course, the British Association of Educational Audiologists, the BAEA. Scottish Sensory Centre is funded by the Scottish Government to provide career-long professional learning opportunities for teachers and professionals. It engages in research into the issues that affect children with sensory impairments and the professionals who work with them. And it also provides an information service comprising a postal lending library, information searches, and online resources, and works closely with a range of bodies, including the Scottish Qualifications Authority. Now we come to the most important part of the presentation, joining BATOD. Don't look at the money, it's not as bad as it looks. Your membership type of students will be a full membership. It's not just the £90 that it says annually or the quarterly sum, and here's the answer why: reduction for students. As you can see, you get a lot for your money: the magazine, the journal, access to a consultant if you have queries or problems. And BATOD has a joint membership offer with BAEA for dual qualified QTODs and EdORDs, and with VIEW for dual qualified QTODs, QTMSI or QTVI. Options for students. If you contact BATOD and send evidence that you're in training, a scan or a photo of a letter from your course or registration document, you will receive a coupon to apply online, and you'll get a reduction of £5 a quarter or £20 per year for the 2 years of the course. So, the BATOD membership subscription can be claimed against income tax. This is for everyone, not just students. For those who pay tax at 40%, this means a saving of over £30 an annum, and those members on the lower band saving over £10. You don't need to do anything complicated with this. You just put it in your income tax form and your tax code is adjusted. If you have any worries, just contact us to ask us. We'll answer any questions that you have and won't mind if you're confused about any of the filling in of the forms. I would recommend that you join BATOD. It's been a great help to me and a great help to many of my colleagues. And I think it's a support for education of children of the deaf, which we really do need in current times. Thank you very much for watching.